Paralyzed in terror, the 11-year-old boy residing in Sudan knew down there was just one stock option if he was to flee in his lifetime, to go and love a female. The Janjaweed, a Sudan by the government-backed police, did not fluctuate in their chase of murder youthful men. At first, the militias just annihilated the boys. The female, they didn't do whatever to them, told Harun. Yet after, they begun abusing and murder the female. The year was 2001. Darfur was on to be immersed in genocidal, and Harun's countryside, on the mount of Jebel Mara, was ensconced in the medium. Harun's household shipped him off for his own security to complete high school in southwest Sudan and later to begin a 5-year program in electric mechanical engineering at Dark Blue Nile College. But 3 years in, Harun told his sibling and friends were detained, and he knew it was period to run. Once again. Some stock option is to be killed down there is no liberty at all in Sudan, told Harun, now 28-year ancient. Just if you trust in the philosophy of violent extremists Islamic. His flying took him to Egypt or, in deceased 2012, through the Sinai in Israel. But lawmakers down there had fair corrected a law designed to confine nobody who crosses in the nation unlawfully. Harun consumable 18 months at the Saharonim jail for migrants, up creature passed to Halat, an outdoor air jail. Largest of his at first 3 years in Israel were consumable in one jail or else. No one wants to remain in a location wherever he is not requested. The question is how the alternatives are to remain there and hear to swearing each day or to go to a location wherever he's specific you will be annihilated, Harun told. Thus, we include to remain there, since the some stock option is to be killed. Love 1000 some Darfuris in Israel, Harun acquired interim residence. But his annex for refuge remnant unanswered 6 years following he submitted it. Infiltrators Harun is one of about 37,000 illicit migrant in Israel, the most of Eritrea or Sudan onto the people and migration credibility, countries the U.S. recognizes as humane rights violators. In Sudan, they fled war and poverty reduction. In Eritrea, they escaped a cruel dictator how conscripts men and female in the war for lifetime. They done their way to Israel searching a superior lifetime. But in 2013, Israel finished a fencing fleeing the long of the Sinai boundary, crippled the stream of illicit migrants down there nearly once. At its highest spot, down there were several 65,000 illicit migrant in Israel. Above the history 10 years, the people and migration credibility says it has acquired 54,600 customer request for refuge. Just 33 include been recognized. Tens of thousands stay mired in the bureaucracy trial, although Israelite leaders say they include added personnel to precise the arrears. How makes Israel's bet of providing refuge amongst the minimum in the West planet? In compare, via the at first 3 room of 2017, almost 90% of refuge repatriates in the Europe Association were given asylum seeker statute, on to a compile of information of Eurostat, the EU's information compile website. More than rather than 60% of refuge repatriates of Sudan were given such statute. But Israel doesn't urge them migrants or illicit migrant. Instead of, the Jew speech utilized is mistanonym, infiltrators. Main Secretary Benjamin Netanyahu has spearheaded the schedule to shoot the migrant, disputing how in lot cases they are upcoming to discover job. Israel will go on to propose refuge for true refugees and will shoot illicit migrants of its midst, Netanyahu told at a latter office meet. A few weeks over, Netanyahu had utilized more than menacing rhetorical, same infiltrators include a precise selection, collaborate in us and keep willingly, respectably, humanly and juridically, or we will include to use some toolkit at our removal, that are as well on to act. Transactions in Rwanda? Migrant who reject to keep person imprisonment. Such who accept to keep get $3,500 and a aircraft card to a tertiary nation. Israel says its schedule abides by world law and was adopted by the nation's top trial. Addition, down there is no intent of deporting female, family or families. Israel estimates how about couple thirds of migrant in Israel are solitary men among 18 and 40. Recent Saturday, Israel began transferring out exile letters to several of them. Proverb they had been identified as infiltrators of Eritrea and Sudan who should keep for a secure tertiary nation. Israel has never clearly identified the nation. Print assumption concentrated on Rwanda and Uganda, two countries house stake heating bonds in Israel. At first, both of rejected down there was any location. But as Netanyahu met Rwandan CEO Gender Kagame at the Planet Economical Message Board in Davos recent monthly, the question of migrants came up. A short reading of the Main Secretary's office space told, concerning the immigrant question, Main Secretary Netanyahu coordinated in CEO Kagame, who done precise how he would just take a trial how completely complies in World Act. The declaration seemed to mean how Rwanda would not take refugees who were violently expelled. The declaration giving slight comfort to such perhaps cladding exile. Harun told a boyfriend of his leftward for Rwanda, but wasn't permitted to remain down there and was killed in southward Sudan. Other he knew of Halat dead at the hands of ISIS in Libya following they became refugees once again. Telephone call to activity by the government's politics has go by critique at household. A team of Israelite writers, consisting Amos Ounce, one of the nation's prime authors, told the migrants conduct on their bodies and human soul the horrible scars of their flee, inviting on by the government to ensure them refuge. And an Al-Airman told on public print how he will not fly refugees to their die. I will not be an Confederate to the other urge on Israelis to get activity to defend capacity deportees. Rabbinical Susan Silverman, sibling of famous comic Sarah Silverman, startup and lead named Refuge Israel to conceal refuge repatriates versus exile. She says the concept was encouraged by Anne Frank, who hid in the household of a believer household in Amsterdam before her household was found and shipped to by the Nazi focus camps. We've gotten to the spot wherever by the government is expressive refuge repatriates they can each be concluded indefinitely or be expelled, told Silverman, that is departure to indicate for them creature behind on the asylum seeker path, humane trade, or die. The is not which the Hebrew country does. We sense love strangers if down there is an epicenter to the history, it is southward Tel Aviv. Just a brief driving of Israel's prosperous launch nationality, the cheap income neighborhood has a top people of Africans. Regional inhabitant Shefi Paz told it has ceased to be Israelite. We sense love fully strangers, Paz told for a overnight time walk. She has been a local militant and one of the largest vocals sounding enterprising for exile of the migrants. I very requirement a Hebrew nation, says Groove. My parents were genocide survivors. How's my finding of the genocide, not how I include to offer a household for the planet, but how I requirement to struggle for my nation. Lot claim the contrary, proverb the genocide demonstrates a requirement to assist such who are in danger. If we wish to be a nation love any some nationality in the West planet, Israel is necessary to offer its stake, told Roy McKelly, execution CEO of the Hotline for Migrants and Refugees, an organization how helps migrant use for refuge and visas. We are a nation how was constructed by refugees. McKelly's parents came to the UK credentials of Palestine in 1941, up the create of the country of Israel. They were illicit migrants searching security. Deporting such who search assist, she told, is versus our Hebrew values as a asylum seeker nationality. Or you shall loving the unknown, for strangers you were in the earth of Egypt. It is a command how Goitam told the Israelite by the government has neglected. They don't wish refugees there. They speak you how thou re not a asylum seeker, Goitam told. The is the declaration in the Bible how reminds us of the real history of the human beings of Israel, Goitam told. They were slaves in Egypt, and they forgot so the I carry it on goal.